The grandchild said.
Grandpa says it's Mom's fault.
As I stared at my daughter-in-law in surprise, she averted her gaze. She always avoided me and didn't engage more than necessary. Her distant demeanor led me to give up on building a closer relationship.
What on earth?
I couldn't help but look at my daughter-in-law suspiciously. Then, with the next words from the grandchild, she began to tremble uncontrollably. I had been enjoying a peaceful retirement with my husband Sebastian, 3 years my senior. In his younger days, he had excelled in a large corporation, but after retiring, he devoted his time to me. With our child grown, I cherished these moments with Sebastian.
Logan and his family are coming over this weekend,
Sebastian said. I especially looked forward to visits from our neighbors, Logan and his family. Our 34-year-old son, Logan, worked hard as an entrepreneur and always cared for us. And don't get me started on our adorable 4-year-old grandson, Anthony. One Sunday, Logan's family visited our home. Anthony was as lively as ever, and just seeing him made me happy. But there was one thing weighing on my mind.
Amelia, please make yourself at home. Do you have a sweet tooth?
I offered Amelia some sweets and coffee. She hesitated, avoiding eye contact, and mumbled,
No, thank you.
Watching her reserved behavior, I sighed internally. My concern centered around Amelia and her distant attitude toward Sebastian and me. She wouldn't meet our eyes and sometimes even left the room when we tried to talk to her. At first, I thought it might be shyness, but her actions left me feeling uneasy. Was she intentionally avoiding us? And there's one more reason why Amelia seems to have a hard time with me. Logan sighed.
Yeah. She's so quiet here. At home, she's loud, shouting, and quite the opposite.
As soon as she went to the bathroom, Logan grumbled with a displeased expression. The truth was, I had been hearing about Amelia's troublesome behavior for a while now. Apparently, despite her usual reserved personality, when she loses her temper, she becomes uncontrollable. It's hard to believe, given Amelia's calm demeanor, but Logan's serious tone made it seem like he wasn't making it up. Avoiding eye contact and hearing about this side of her made me wary too. We've become family, so I do want to build a good relationship, but... Lost in my thoughts, Anthony suddenly looked at me and hurriedly approached.
What's wrong?
Are you hungry? I asked. Anthony whispered.
No. Grandma, you want to be friends with Mom, right? It'd be nice if you could become friends.
His words caught me off guard. Anthony's innocent face remained unchanged as he looked at me. He was adorable, but there was something mysterious about him. Sometimes he accurately guessed dinner menus he couldn't possibly know, or like now, said things that seemed like he could read minds. While I marveled at this, I thought, an Esper-like ability in Anthony? Impossible. Little did I know that his unique power would soon play a crucial role. It happened when Logan's family stayed over at our house. Late at night, after Anthony had gone to bed, I was about to get ready for sleep when a loud crash came from the bedroom.
What?
Logan said.
Wasn't Sebastian already in the room?
Alarmed, I rushed toward the bedroom. Sebastian had always had a weak heart.
I hope it's not a seizure,
I worried. I opened the door to find Sebastian clutching his chest, collapsed on the floor. As I frantically called for an ambulance, Logan tried to revive him. Just then, Amelia, fresh from the bath, stood there, her expression grim.
Amelia, please take care of Anthony,
I said. Together with Logan, we boarded the ambulance, and Sebastian's life was saved, at least for now. But our relief was short-lived. He remained unconscious, in a coma. The doctors couldn't find a cause.
Why is this happening all of a sudden?
My beloved Sebastian was now bedridden, and I stood on the brink of despair. After that, I continued visiting the hospital, praying for his recovery. During this time, Logan's visits provided me with much-needed support. Logan would gaze at Sebastian with sad eyes, hoping for his awakening. His presence reminded me that I wasn't the only one suffering in this situation. However, there was something that still bothered me. "Hey, isn't Amelia coming today?" I asked Logan.
Yeah. She seems busy and couldn't make it for the visit.
He replied. Since Sebastian's hospitalization, Amelia hadn't shown her face even once. It saddened me that she kept her distance, despite being family. I resigned myself to not thinking too much about Amelia. However, a month after Sebastian fell into a coma, Amelia suddenly appeared with Anthony. "Amelia, thank you for coming," I said. She hesitated in her greetings, glancing around nervously. Her reluctance to move from the door made me realize that our distance hadn't diminished. And then, unexpectedly, our grandson Anthony leaned in close to Sebastian's face and said,
Grandpa says it's Mom's fault.
I was taken aback. "What do you mean?" I stammered. Anthony didn't answer my question directly. Instead, he tugged at Amelia's sleeve and looked up at her.
Mom, you took the pen to Grandpa, right? It worked, and that's why he's like this.
Anthony explained. Amelia's eyes widened, and she began trembling.
Amelia, what did you do?
I confronted her. If she intentionally harmed Sebastian, even as Logan's beloved, I couldn't forgive her. But then, Amelia uttered unexpected words.
Anthony has a mysterious power. He can understand people's hearts.
According to her, our grandson possessed an ability to discern people's thoughts just by looking at their faces. It sounded unbelievable, but somehow, I found myself accepting it. Anthony's peculiar statements, which I'd encountered many times, must have stemmed from this power. As I realized this, I glanced at Sebastian.
So, Anthony accurately guessed Sebastian's thoughts?
I asked, shocked. Amelia nodded slowly, and tears welled up in her eyes. She revealed a truth that filled my heart with anger toward a certain person. A few days later, something happened. Logan said,
Mom, what's this sudden talk about? What's going on?
In my home, Amelia wore a stern expression, and Logan looked as usual. Since learning the truth, I had called them both while Anthony was at kindergarten. Seeing Logan sitting there, I felt a pang in my chest. Logan, whom Sebastian and I had raised with care, was our precious child, no matter how old he became. At least, that's what I thought.
You're the reason Sebastian ended up like that.
My fists trembled on my lap, but Logan either pretended not to understand or lightly chuckled, tilting his head.
What are you talking about all of a sudden?
He asked.
Don't play dumb. That pen you gave her, wasn't it a dangerous toy?
Logan seemed taken aback by my words. He hadn't expected to be caught. According to Amelia, on the night Sebastian collapsed, Logan had handed her a pen, saying,
It's Sebastian's. Take it.
Sebastian, being meticulous, had a habit of writing in his diary before bed. Knowing this, Logan must have given Amelia the pen. And according to Anthony, Who could read minds? That pen emitted a mild electric current. The truth was that Sebastian's weak heart had caused him to collapse.
Sebastian is so methodical. You'd pick up anything you dropped. There's no way a pen would be lying around. You pretended to rush to Sebastian and secretly took it, didn't you?
Logan continued to make excuses, relying on the lack of definitive evidence. But Amelia had had enough.
Sorry, but I checked your phone. I've got records of suspicious messages,
she said, her face pale, confronting Logan. Suddenly, Logan stood up and raised his fist toward Amelia. I intervened just in time.
Stop it!
I said.
This scumbag! Why won't you ever listen to me?
Logan's outburst revealed his true nature. His face turned crimson as he shouted, unrecognizable from the cute Logan we knew.
I've heard everything from Amelia. It's you who loses control and becomes uncontrollable with rage.
My emotions swirled with anger and sadness as I spoke. According to Amelia, Logan always sought dominance at home, even restricting Amelia's actions. She wasn't allowed to go out with friends or even shop alone. Amelia's reluctance to visit us was because Logan had forbidden it. Her coldness toward us stemmed from knowing about Logan's verbal abuse and violence at home, leaving her unsure how to interact.
I used to be too scared to confide in anyone, but this time, I won't forgive you. You'll pay for your sins.
Amelia bravely confessed the truth, and Logan let out a low growl. Despite his determination to resist and fight back, he had no escape when faced with Amelia's decision to retaliate.
Amelia showed me the message history on your phone, and I never expected you were in debt,
I said. The decisive evidence she found was the message records between Logan and creditors. Logan, who had started a business but struggled to make it profitable, accumulated debt each time the company faced bankruptcy. Desperate to repay the debts, he even planned to murder Sebastian to claim his inheritance. Numerous messages on Logan's phone revealed statements like, "My father will soon pass away, and I'll repay then, or I'll pay using the inheritance." Amelia continued,
You gave me the pen because you didn't want to do it yourself. And your daily visits to your father were just to keep an eye on him, weren't they?
She added,
By the way, I've submitted the saved message history to the police. They'll likely find out soon.
Logan's face shifted between shock and panic. He had intended to take only the inheritance without facing any consequences. But reality wasn't so forgiving. While I cherished Logan, I held Sebastian and Amelia in equal regard. I couldn't forgive Logan for involving Amelia in his crime and plotting against his father. As Logan panicked, he suddenly tried to escape toward the entrance. But Amelia and I wouldn't allow it. We restrained him together, our combined strength overpowering him.
I won't let you get away,
I declared. Logan's face turned pale as he struggled.
I don't want to go to the police,
he protested. With a heavy sigh, I said,
Stop acting like a child. You need to reflect on your actions.
Realizing his fate, Logan slumped. I made the call to the police. Ultimately, further investigation confirmed Logan's guilt. Due to the severity of the case, he spent time in prison. Amelia filed for divorce, and I severed our family ties. Logan's company, now without him, went bankrupt. Meanwhile, a miracle occurred. Sebastian woke up. Though he continued outpatient treatment, he showed no lasting effects and gradually recovered. Amelia and I maintained contact, occasionally going out with Sebastian and Anthony. Our days became joyful. I prayed this wonderful days would continue.
How did you like this story? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time.